Okay. Uh, Greetings, brothers and sisters. Tonight is September 14th, 2025. Got an old slide up there. Let me fix that. September 14th, 2025. Time is 5:10 p.m. And my name is Brother John Hargrove. I serve as the president for the Atlanta division of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. Tonight, we will be having our first mass meeting for the month of September. And tonight's topic, we will be reading about 3 pages from what I looked at. We're going to break it down about 3 pages of Dr. Tony Martin's text, Race First. We're reading the chapter USA versus UNIA, talking about going into some of the, or starting to go into some of the legal battles between the UNIA and the USA. As always, we have our opening rituals. We start with our pledge to the UNIA flag. So if everyone would, please come off mute, put your black fists in the air, and repeat after me. 1 second on my computer. Put your black fists in the air, repeat after me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security.
To the protection, defense, and security
of the red, black, and green.
Of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa
and the liberation of her scattered black children.
And the liberation of her scattered black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants
the teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And I promise that our children will be instilled.
And I promise that our children will be instilled
with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle will neither falter nor fail.
In order that the cause of our struggle will neither falter nor fail.
Until all black people are free and united.
Until all black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
And one destiny.
Okay, you may be seated. You can mute your lines. Following our pledge. Please mute your lines. Thank you. Following our pledge, we've got a couple of opening rituals for UNIA mass meeting as taught by Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. First of which is passage or poem from Greenland's Icy Mountains. So I'll read that. From Greenland's icy mountains, from India's coral strand, where Africa's sunny fountains roll down their golden sand. From many ancient rivers, from many palmy plains, they called us to deliver their land from error's chain. Shall we whose souls are lighted with wisdom from on high, shall we to men be knighted, the lamp of life deny? Salvation, O salvation, a joyful sound proclaimed to earth's remotest nation has learned Messiah's name. Waft, waft, ye winds, his story, and you, ye waters, roll, till like a sea of glory it spreads from pole to pole. To o'er our ransomed nation, the Lamb for sinners slain, Redeemer, King, Creator, in bliss returns to reign. Amen, Ashe. Sister Cecily, are you available?
Yes, I'm available.
Would you like to provide us with the opening prayer?
Yes. Everyone, if you would, please assume the posture of prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, taking, as Christ did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that He will make all things right if I surrender to His will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with Him forever in the next. Ashe.
Shay, thank you,
Ashe.
Leslie. Last part of opening ritual is poem Shine On Eternal Light. Shine on eternal light to greet our souls this day, dispel the gloominess of night and drive our doubts away. Our longing eye prepare when war and strife shall cease, to view the morn soon to appear, the new era of peace. Thy glorious church, O God, no kingdom can remove, made without hands, his blessed abode, the harbinger of love. Of all thy gifts that flow from thy great throne above, we ask thee on our hearts bestow the gift of perfect love. My soul the light receives and dares the truth to prove, not in blind ignorance believes, but knows that God is love. Come, love, and give new birth to man's destructive mind. Spread where confusion reigns on earth, goodwill to all mankind. Shine on, eternal light. Thy penetrating ray shall turn the hour of darkest night into eternal day. Ashe, amen. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop sharing. Just meant to minimize it. Windows has stopped. Okay.
Why are they charging me? I gotta see what this is all.
Lady President, you came off mute.
I'm sorry. My bad. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings. Okay, she is co-host. We'll do a brief roll call, ground rules. I'll read our preamble of the UNIA Constitution. Then, Brother Art, I will pass to you for minutes from our previous meeting. I believe that was August 10th. I believe. I'm not sure. It was the middle of August. I think August 10th. Roll call.
Yeah, August 10th.
Okay, thank you, Brother Art. Roll call, have myself, Brother John, President. We have our Lady President, Sister Diane, Ross Marvin. I don't see Ross Marvin is not here. Assistant Treasurer and second or third Vice President, Brother Eric is here. First Lady Vice President, Sister Cecily is here. Our second Vice President, Brother Malik, is here. Legion's Coordinator, Brother James is here. Third Lady Vice President or Second Lady Vice President and International Organizer Dr. Kuda is here. Legal Defense Committee Coordinator Attorney Imhotep is here, and Sister Vida is joining us today as a inquiring individual. So we're missing First Vice President, Third Lady Vice President, promotions, Brother James.
So Sister Ayana coming in.
Sister Ayana, or did I say something? I said it wrong.
Third Lady Vice President, Sister Ayana.
Yes, Third Lady Vice President, Sister Ayana. First Vice President, Brother Macias. Promotions, Brother James Wilson. And I think that's it. And Ross Marvin, Treasurer. Okay. All right, that takes care of roll call. Preamble. Preamble of the UNIA states that the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League is a social, friendly, humanitarian, charitable, educational, institutional, constructive, and expansive society that is founded by persons desiring to the utmost to work for the general uplift of the Negro peoples of the world. The members pledge themselves to do all in their power to conserve the rights of their noble race and to respect the rights of all mankind, believing always in the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. The motto of the organization is one God, one aim, one destiny. Therefore, let justice be done to all mankind, realizing that if strong oppresses the weak, confusion and discontent will ever mark the path of man, but with love, faith, and charity towards all, the reign of peace and plenty will be heralded into the world, and the generations of men shall be called blessed. Takes care of preamble, and that will bring us to minutes from our previous meeting. Brother Art, recording secretary.
Yes, greeting family. The previous minutes were from August 10th, and at 5 o'clock, the call was made. 5:10, we opened with the pledge and the rituals. At 5:18, roll call, and we had 11 on the call, and we did the guidelines. At 5:19, the preamble was read. At 5:20, the previous minutes were read. 5:25, the topic was floored. The topic was History Matters. And that was a discussion about education. And Brother Malik read chapters 1 through 27 of Raise First. And at 5:47, Cicely read, I didn't get the chapters. I wasn't thinking that fast. At 5:35, questions and statements were asked for and answered. Omasius had comments about the coming up events, and he had some comments about the proposals that were going to be presented. John also spoke about some of the upcoming events, and that was I think it was the HUC and the convention were discussed. Several others spoke on it too. Attorney Imhotep and Dr. Kuda also spoke. And Officer's share was at 6:15. John had comments on the opening plans for the convention. Roz commented on dues and UNIA history. At 6:30, Diane asked about the course and the legals involved in the course. Roz gave a synopsis, I guess, on an Elder Farouk and his teachings. He was Roz's mentor. Imhotep spoke on the charge of SL. I didn't go back over that, so I don't really know what that was. SL. Dr. Kuda did a follow-up on some of the plans that were made. Members shared. Lady Cicely spoke, Dr. Kuda spoke, and it was something mentioned about working with Uganda and the school kids over there. Abdul, he had comments on how the meeting was going. And Dr. Sham spoke of life coaching and his prices for that. At 7:35, the meeting closed with the anthem. I'll do a better job next time, family. Thank you.
No problem, bro. Yeah, I think the key takeaways from my memory of that August 10th meeting, I think we had gone over, I think that's when we went over Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World. But our big focus, at least my big focus at the time, was upcoming Garvey Day, which was August 16th, here in Atlanta at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. And then the 67th convention, which was, I believe, the 19th, August 19th or 20th through 24th, sometime around that time frame,
Okay.
in Brooklyn. But
Okay, that's right, because I just put upcoming events and somehow or another in my mind, I got the ATC mixed up in it.
yeah,
So,
it was convention. And with that being said, forgive me, brothers and sisters. I was looking for the email for today's meeting because it had the agenda, and I saw that it was still in the outgoing folder. It hadn't been sent out. I tried to send it out last night, but I guess it didn't go through. So I just sent it out a few minutes ago. So everybody should have the agenda for today's program now. So after the meeting minutes, I wanted to touch on the convention recap for everyone that attended the convention, to kind of give their thoughts. Let me pull up the newsletter. We can talk from there. Then showed 2025 convention room count. Let me see the newsletter. HEC, what in the world? Having a hard time finding the convention. 67. Okay, I got it. 67th International Convention newsletter. So this is important in the structure of UNIA and Garveyism. This is our most important gathering every year is the convention. Um, Convention goes back to, well, I know of it going back to 1920, the first international convention of Negro peoples of the world, August 1st through August 31st, 1920. And we've been holding the convention consistently of the past few years. They fell off obviously after Garvey's transition, but we've been picking them back up. And we're at the 67th International, or we just celebrated and attended the 67th International Convention. But this is the largest gathering of the UNIA ACL on an annual basis. And this is where the most important decisions are being made. That's the best way I can explain it. So August 20th through 24th is where the official dates. It was in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn President, Division 431 President Rodney Duguay, Honorable Michael R. Duncan, our President General, the 11th President General and 10th successor to Marcus Garvey. Registration fee was $15 per person, 125 per division in order to attend and participate. Souvenir Ad Journal was a big fundraiser. Thank you to all who participated in that and purchased a newsletter, or what is that? Souvenir Ad Journal, sorry. It's a lodging. We stayed at Hotel 1200 Broadway in Brooklyn, New York, not far from the business location, which was, I know all of this really don't matter. Restoration Plaza, 1368 Fulton Street. As far as the what we discussed, monthly reports, we had to make sure we were up to date as a charter division as far as turning in our reports. And our ability to attend is proof that we are up to date as far as reports. Garvey's Voice International Headquarters fundraiser. We always have international headquarters fundraiser, international headquarters in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's where we will have HEC this coming April. We have, continuing fundraisers for that facility. We were supposed to announce a hoodie fundraiser. We haven't had UNIA hoodies, so this was supposed to be the first UNIA hoodies. They weren't available at the time, but the fundraiser that was available was the popcorn fundraiser. And we talked about that in brief, and that has been extended. I'll send the information out for that, but it's been extended about one more week. So we still have an opportunity to support the fundraiser. Let me see, attached documents. So here's the main portion of it is the business, well, mostly business meetings. Tuesday was a meet and greet. We made it there Tuesday evening. We didn't attend the meet and greet. So we don't really have much to say from that, but that was recorded and it is on UNIA Rock Media. It was, a general meet and greet of the different cities that were there at the time. Wednesday is when the official business started. My main takeaways here were the High Executive Council reports. So President General report, first assistant, second assistant wasn't present, third assistant President General gave a report, High Chancellor gave a report, International Organizer gave a report, Minister of Labor and Industries, Minister of Information, and I believe Minister of Education. Any questions or concern, or anyone that was there, was there anything that they would like to emphasize as far as what was discussed? Theme of the convention is the order continues, I believe. It's not up here. Yeah, it is. 2025 convention, UNIA, the order continues. Lady President, anything you wish to say on the first day, first business day, Wednesday?
Everything started out, we got a little late started, but the first day went pretty smooth.
Anything major for us to bring back to our division?
Well,
I think that just being more prepared for the event, for the expense of the event. Um, there were some individuals that, weren't able to join us because of, situations, family circumstances, which is understandable. Um, but for future, we just tried planning for it, early. And um, just so we know, are we flying? Are we driving? Are we gonna pool our resources and make it happen? Um, Maybe we could even reserve a nice, a sizable Airbnb way ahead of time so that come close, the dates are blocked out for us, and as we come closer to pay them, we're paying a reduced rate. And the more the merrier, and then also the more people, then the burden is not as huge. And just just work on our increasing our membership so that we have more in attendance and all this stuff. And so we have more funds to take care of not just attending convention and other events, but taking care of local things, putting together local things, meeting together more on a local basis. Um, you know, just beefing up our game to be more, do more, and being able to not sweat certain things when we got to do it. Part of our operation. If we want to improve things and create things, we're going to have to spend money. So we just do some things to make that a possibility. But the event itself overall was good. We had some good things. Uh, we had Brother Amacius uh, uh, made a nice presentation. We had Brother James' proposal got adopted, voted on. Um, and we had a nice facility for the meeting. Uh, Lunch was brought in all day, even though surprising to me, New York's food is actually fairly inexpensive compared to some places in Atlanta. Um, yeah, because food is plentiful there. Every corner has somewhere for you to eat. Plus, we had the convenience of lunch being brought in, but I was surprised at their prices. So, when we did not, have the catered stuff, but food was decent, and we had a jazz event one of the evening. Um, President John and myself visited the Fakarak grocery. That was interesting. We didn't do a deep tour, but we looked around and got a feel for the place. Um, yeah, we went. All the outings were good. I mean, it was business. We had a presentation um of the Fakarak from an investment perspective. So we a uh no, it's not a documentary, but a video was put together highlighting, some key things and members who are participating in the Fakarak, workers, people who have bought shares. It's a good thing, and a nice documentary was done, and we got to see that. And in fact, I think we should get our hands on it for our division as well. Could be a recruiting tool for us. Yeah, just planning better for these events and the takeaway for me, I mean, people have different takeaway. The takeaway for me is just, you know, beefing up our membership and do, doing more locally so that we can have a bigger impact, a better impact. And I feel confident that we will. But that's just a takeaway, just to I know it seems sometimes, that there's hardly time to do all the stuff we're doing already. And I know some members are more deeply entrenched in the work than others, like the folks here who are working on our whirlwind, keeping our database up to date, all these kind of things. It takes time. So just, I just a vision of it. Of us getting better with everything that we're doing, using certain tools to make certain things easier, and so we don't have to reinvent any wheels, and just creating activities to stimulate more membership, to make the UNIA, our division, attractive to offer, and then focus on our youth programs and just be about working for our community, our race. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I know I may not sound like it was exciting, but it was exciting. It was exciting, yes. So it was great, and I'm looking forward to the next one. And I'm hoping that when we do the next one, more of us are in attendance. That's it, pretty much, in a nutshell. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Lady President. A couple things. Just first on the Faka Rock, for those that aren't aware, Faka Rock is a business that is primarily owned by UNI members, particularly the President General and First Assistant President General of the UNIA. And it is an investment opportunity. Restaurant Owners Corp is what ROC stands for, but it's a business in which they provide resources for the restaurants in the community. So they purchase goods on a wholesale basis, they store them at the warehouse, and then they sell them back to restaurants and to the community. Completely Black-owned operation. You can find more information about Faka Rock on the UNIA-ACL government website. So this is our official website. They got their own tab, Faka Rock. Faka Rock, the Africans in Southeast Queens have embarked on an ambitious plan to create wealth for the benefit of its noble race. We call it the plan. We call the plan the Federation of African, Caribbean, and American Restaurant Owners Corp. So Faka Rock. But yeah, this is the facility we visited while we were there. And again, this is an investment opportunity provided by leadership of the UNIA. In my takeaway of the focus of the convention, a lot of the focus on the convention centered around Faka Rock, the success of Faka Rock, and the potential for future growth for Faka Rock and, in essence, the UNIA. So that's Faka Rock. The funding, great point. I didn't want to go into that too much, but we talked about it going, preparing for convention. I think I had said, try to save $1,000 to $1,500. And that's exactly what myself and Lady President needed in order to be able to make the trip and make it back, successfully and comfortably. But we also discussed for future programs, as Lady President said, the more people we can get to contribute and commit, the less it should cost collectively. And also, Brooklyn itself, staying in Brooklyn is an additional expense. So we felt like if we can take care of Brooklyn ourselves amongst the two of us, then a group of us collectively shouldn't have any problem as far as lodging and travel for other cities, primarily Philadelphia, and then Baltimore will be the location of convention next year. But that really just comes down to the numbers I came up to was if we can get up to five individuals that can commit and financially make that commitment, I see the expense dropping down to about $500 per person. So between HEC and convention, that would be $1,000 a year for travel and lodging for HEC and convention. If we can get five or more individuals. Thank you, Lady President. And yeah, big takeaway as far as the work outside of the focus of FACA proposals. Brother Macius was able to give his proposal, an economic proposal. He's got some homework to take care of. He kind of knows where to make adjustments for the next proposal. And then Brother James had his youth proposal, which basically is requesting that the youth coordinators of each of the divisions across the nation come together and develop collaborative programs for youth education, engagement, and membership. But it was primarily pitched as a youth education program where each of the divisions would raise the funds needed for that program. They would discuss amongst each other what they feel is the best programs for their region. Also discuss different ideas as to how they could raise funds. But it would be up to the local division to raise the funds and make the program a reality. And that was promising. That also puts a level of responsibility on us. We talk about these things, youth, education, membership. Now the ball is in our court. The UNIA-ACL leadership, all divisions are looking to Atlanta to see what we can do, what type of youth programs we can develop, we can execute. And there are also at least one division is looking for a return on investment. So what type of return or impact do these programs produce or create? And again, based on us being the division that provided the proposal, there'll be a lot of responsibility on us to prove its success for other divisions. Any questions or comments? And Dr. Kuda, I will come to you next for your comments on convention.
While you're waiting for comments, if I could make a comment on what you just presented, I just want to thank you for having presented the Brother James's proposal so well. And I was sitting right at the back and I couldn't hear properly, but I was like just so comfortable in my seat because I know that you always present us 100% to the best. So I just want to thank you, President John, for always, stepping up and putting Division 421 on top. Thank you. You presented Brother James's presentation as if it were him, and you actually went even the extra mile. You did it so well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kuda. Again, leadership, we have that responsibility. It's not something that we may desire, but again, it's just a responsibility. So, Brother James did a great job at HEC presenting the proposal, detailing the proposal, and getting support for his proposal. He was unfortunately, he wasn't able to attend convention in Brooklyn. So by default, me as president, Sister Diane as lady president, we would become the representatives of that proposal. And although Brother James did most of the work in HEC, there's still a opportunity for the proposal to be rejected if it's not presented properly. So that's what Dr. Kuda is speaking to. I had the honor, I'll say, of presenting Brother James's proposal and doing my best to answer any questions that individuals had. But again, the takeaway is that same word of responsibility. The ball is in our court. The entire UNIA is looking to Atlanta to see, you know, how well we can execute youth programs. Thank you, Dr. Kuda.
Thanks to you.
Dr. Kuda, any comments that you wish to give on convention recap?
I think you've covered most of it as well as the lady president. Um, the venue of the event was the same venue that Brother Rodney had when they had the Women's Day. Um, was that in the month of June? I don't quite remember now what month was it, but it's the same venue for the convention. I think I felt on the first day because I was sitting in the front with Lady President Diane. So I was right there in front, and some people, when they're using the mic, they speak so loud on the mic. So I opted to go sit at the back. But by me sitting right at the back, because the venue is long and narrow, I couldn't hear much. So I disadvantaged myself by going to sit right at the back, but the comfort was that I could put my laptop on the table, whereas in the front there were no tables. It was just cinema kind of sitting. I wish that we could have a good venue next time when we're doing such a big event like convention. But this venue was big, it's just the setup. It's long. So when you're right at the back, you can't really get what's happening. You can't hear properly or see properly what's happening in the front. That's my only recommendation for next time when we maybe host the event in Atlanta. Those are things we could look at. And I'm hoping that after Baltimore, that we can be the next to host the convention in 2027. I don't know who's on the line next, but I would love us to be the next. Other than that, everything at the convention, I enjoyed myself at the jazz as well as the dinner gala. Most of my trip was sponsored by elders. I was sponsored by Brother Shaka Barak as well as Sister Gwen. So I'm grateful to those elders for supporting us. And I'm just fired up to do more, for our division because we are a vibrant division. We are a pace setter. We are, a good example for other divisions to learn from. So I'm just looking forward to doing my best, for the rest of the year and the years coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kuda. Yeah, and that's why we encourage all members, particularly officers, we have to attend HEC and convention. I was gonna say at least one a year, but no, I'm not gonna limit it. I'm not gonna limit that. We have to do our best to attend both HEC and convention, but at least, yeah, very minimum one. But you have to as Dr. Kuda was speaking to, see where how Atlanta measures up to the other divisions, and how we contribute. It's not a competition, but we do play a significant role, even if it's just a position of asking questions that people hadn't considered. Um, the things that we focus on are important, are critical. They are pillars to the UNIA and us, our future as a UNIA. So that focus is valued, it is appreciated, but it's not um, and I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, but it's not replicated. It's not that others can't do it. It's just that others don't do it, at least to the level and consistency that we do it, and that becomes obvious when we go to HEC and convention. Brother
One
Mason,
last, sorry, one last thing before
yes,
Brother Mason. I'm sorry. One main takeaway also was the way the President General kept complimenting Division 421, especially repeatedly telling President John and President and Brother Mason how much he appreciates them and loves them. And that for me was just huge because he didn't just say it at one point. Throughout the convention, he kept reminding them and hugging them. So that for me was really a great, um, relationship of unity and support.
yes, we've had some disagreements, I'll say, not contention or anything like that, but it's just a difference of understanding, I'll say, between the way we see things locally and how we interact with leadership, particularly through the Constitution, because that's our guide to right and wrong, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. So we've had a history.
That was his way of showing appreciation.
Yeah,
I'm sure you noticed that.
yes. No, I was saying, what I'm trying to say, cooperation is extremely important. And we must keep the major goals on the forefront and the major priorities on the forefront. And those priorities are the success of us as a race, the success of the UNIA-ACL as a whole. And we must, put our emotions and feelings on the back burner. We must keep our disagreements, I guess, in private conversations, so that we ensure the vision of cooperation and success is there. So yeah, we're working with President General. We, are proud to be under the leadership of the Honorable Michael R. Duncan, and we are doing the best that we can locally to assist in the success of the UNI-ACL as a whole. So, thank you, Dr. Kuda. Brother Macius, first Vice President, and we're approaching 6 o'clock, so this took longer than I thought. Brother Macius, you there?
Yes, greetings, family. Uh, I definitely, I always say that if you really want to get to know what the UNIA is, you definitely have to attend HEC and convention.
Mm-hmm.
It's the opportunity to see how our government operates, and to understand how it operates, we understand how we can make change in it. Each and every uh, spring, we have an opportunity to present proposals to HEC. Sometimes we have an opportunity to present constitution changes
Hmm.
every other year, but we have the opportunity to present proposals at every convention. And what we each and every one of us see as ways that we can grow our race, we at least can present that, and if we can present that, hopefully we can figure out ways to actually execute it. One of my biggest takeaways from convention is that We just got to start here in Atlanta to create use case scenarios and allow other people to follow along with us.
Absolutely.
Allow other people to follow along with us. We have to be the example, and I believe that it's appreciated now because I think that what my biggest takeaway, we're not just trying to be rebellious through the leadership of President John and through studying uh, what it takes to be a Garveyite. The study was shown. It was shown how much work we actually put into knowing what Garvey is talking about and trying to bring that to fruition. So I'm happy that this division focuses on learning, and through the leadership of President Ross putting this together, and President John, just following that torch, we have the opportunity to learn. So uh, at convention, that was really showed. President General mentioned President John in the same sentence as the Minister of Education, as one of the smartest people he know in the UNIA, but then went right back to say it, but President John. But he had to say something about the Minister of Education, but just to put him on the, I'm not looking over you, brother, but this brother right here, because he does a great job of being able to recite every chapter that's a message to the people. So I'm just echoing on what Dr. Kuda is saying, in the fact that we are have been being seen, and on where President John is coming, there was contention at first, but it shows that when you continuously do work, that's following the guideline, and when you show that you're following that guideline, people can't help but come along and respect it. So if it's your first time here on the call with the 421, welcome. And of course, hope that you understand this is a teaching division, and it's our goal to just to the purpose of knowledge is to use it, and we're gonna continue to use it. And when you go to HEC convention, you have the opportunity to show your use case scenarios with others and work with other divisions. So, race first, family. Uh, uh, that's it.
Race first. Thank you, First Vice President. I think that's a good summary. We'll wrap it up there. We'll open the floor for questions briefly. But I think for me to bring it all full circle, when we came back from HEC, the report that I gave, a summary of it was um, the cat isn't out the bag. This was, coming out of Philadelphia. The cat wasn't out the bag, but they knew that something was in the bag. Coming out of convention, everything is out at this point. It's undeniable. What we are trying to do can't be hidden anymore, and our proficiency as well can no longer be hidden. So they know, and I don't mean that as in just one particular group, but the UNIA collectively. They know who we are as Division 421. They know what is important to us, and we have shown exemplified that ability to show that it's not just a recitation, but this is something that we really take serious. We really try to internalize as best we can the teachings of Mr. Garvey, and that is being valued and respected at this time. Any questions or comments, closing comments on convention? Oh, one other thing, Dr. Kuda had a great point, and if there's nothing else, then I think I'd like to touch on this before we come away from convention. Convention 2026. As Brother Macy has said, these are critical, important gatherings, but these are also diplomatic, or not diplomatic, democratic gatherings. They're diplomatic as well. But one of the takeaways from each gathering is a vote at the end of the gathering to determine the location of the next gathering. Let me see, day of service. So they don't have it up here. They don't have it on here. But at any rate, Convention 2026 will be in Baltimore. We already know that. High Executive Council 2026 will be in Philadelphia. Sorry. We do have an opportunity to have either HEC, but I would rather focus on convention 2027 here in Atlanta. So that's something we should really think about. That would really put us in a very strong political position as well. And I'll talk about that in a second. But before I go to that, I want to touch on next year, 2026. Macy has talked about the ability to make proposals as well as update the Constitution. 2026 will be our opportunity to update the Constitution. After 2026, we won't be able to, if everything remains consistent, we won't be able to update the Constitution until 2031. So there's 5 years that we are enforcing between constitutional updates. Last time we updated the Constitution is 2021. We talked about a little bit 2022, 2023, but 2026 will be our next chance to bring forth any constitutional amendments. We'll have to have those approved at HEC, and then we'll have to re-vote on them again at convention. But we should know again, HEC is in Philadelphia, and then convention is in Baltimore this year. And then after the focus of Constitution, we can talk about location for 2027 convention. Questions, comments, concerns? Floor is open.
When do you think they'll circle back to Atlanta?
When we force it.
Okay.
No, honestly, to Dr. Kuda's point, we could do convention 2027. I don't see why we couldn't. And the significance of that is the convention at 2027 will determine where convention 2028 is. Convention 2028 is an election convention. So if we have convention at 2027, basically here in Atlanta, we determine we have a strong influence on where the election convention will be held. So that's the importance of 2027, in my opinion. That's a long-term strategy. Officers, I need y'all to understand. I know new members like this should go right over your head. But officers, veterans, been in, a couple years, 3 years, 5 years. We should understand the significance of what it is that I'm speaking of. These opportunities are like windows, and they open and close. And we've gotten into a cycle to now we know when the window is opening, we know when the window is open, and we also know when that window is closed. So I'm saying that the window is opening, and we are in a good position to prepare for the next 2 years. No questions, no comments, no concerns. Everybody good on convention? Okay, I'm not gonna belabor it. It is 6:09, and we do have a pretty hefty meeting. We're gonna chop the reading down to about 3 pages to make it manageable for time, but also have some. I think it's still a good. What am I trying to say? There's enough there to get a sense of what the chapter is about. So do I have a volunteer to help read? Been talking a lot. It's 3 pages.
Gotcha.
Thank you, First Vice. 174. So yeah, educational. I like that, Brother Macius. As far as how we would describe ourselves, Mr. Garvey teaches us to master history or read history incessantly until you master it, particularly the history of man. Um, we feel, UNIA is over 100 years old. It's not a new organization. It's not a Johnny come lately, as they say nowadays. This is something that is an organization and ideals that we inherit. And we must understand what, you know, what the foundation was of the ideals so that we can properly modernize them in our time. But a big focus, a lot of our time and energy goes into research and historical study. Race First is a book by Dr. Tony Martin, who is appointed the official historian of the UNIA-ACL. It was described by Dr. John Henry Clark as, let's see, as close to a definitive study of Marcus Garvey as we have seen. So this Race First is one of our very important texts. Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy is one of our primary texts. Another primary text would be the UNIA-ACL Constitution. And then I would put on the same realm as Race First, I would put Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. Those four are my like base four, the highest four. Then you got other things, Garvey and Garveyism by Amos Wilson. I forgot the one, Amy Ashwood, the two Amy's. But at any rate, those four, Constitution, Message to the People, I put as the highest two. Under those, I put Race First and Philosophies and Opinions. And then everything else kind of comes after that for me. But this is Race First, Brother Omasius. I will hand the floor to you.
USA versus UNIA. Garvey is a West Indian Negro. In addition to his activities in endeavoring to establish the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation, he's also been particularly active among the radical elements in New York City in agitating the Negro movement. Unfortunately, however, he has not as yet violated any federal law whereby he could be proceeded against on the grounds of being undesirable alien. From the point of view of deportation, it occurs to me, however, from the attached clipping that there might be some proceeding against him for fraud in connection with his Black Star Line propaganda.
One second,
Diego
brother.
Hoover.
One second, Brother Mason. Just for the audience's sake, just to be clear, the UNIA is not in contention with the United States government, and I don't want that to be. When I was putting the email together, I know that can kind of be perceived as like that. What they mean, USA versus UNIA. Again, this is going into the legal struggles between the UNIA and the USA. And as the first paragraph talked about, there's a record of a long-standing history of the United States looking for a particular reason to criminalize Mr. Garvey and the UNIA, and that's what we are talking about here is that legal history
To sabotage.
of contention. Yes, Lady President. Brother Omasis, as soon as I scroll down, you got it. Brother Mason, you're on mute if you say anything. Did he drop off?
All right. And it continues. Only crooks and thieves and cowards fear to go to prison. Men with principles don't care about jails. Marcus Garvey. The United States provided Garvey with the large black population base, the financial and technological resources, and the strategic location. At the center of world and Pan African affairs, that were the objective conditions against which he could rise to world prominence. His appearance in the United States, however, coincided with savage official repression against radical organizations. And it was not long before Garvey himself was the object of official scrutiny. In his 1917 pamphlet denouncing the East St. Louis riots, there appeared without comment the information that the speech had been delivered before a large and enthusiastic gathering of Negro Americans and West Indians, at which the police captain of the borough precinct, attended by more than 10 detectives, police lieutenants, and Secret Service men, were present. Such immediate official interest in Garvey is not difficult to explain. For Garvey was, after all, provoking officialdom at a time when the official mind usually saw in the desire of black people to be free and equal a problem of law and order, and precious little else. To this kind of mentality, even the National Urban League, the NAACP, and black Republicans trying to enfranchise members of the race could on occasion be viewed as threats to the peace. These attitudes were expressed by Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer in his 1919 report, Radicalism and Sedition Among the Negroes as Reflected in Their Publications, which found fault with the Garvey speech, which preached a doctrine of the Negro for the Negro. Similar attitudes were also expressed in the 1920 report of the Lust Committee of the New York State Legislature into revolutionary radicalism. Their acknowledgement of the oppression of Afro-Americans was most explicit. The most interesting, as well as one of the most important features of radical and revolutionary propaganda, they stated, is the appeal made to those elements of our population that have a just cause of complaint with the treatment they have received in this country. This admission, notwithstanding the eradication of racism, was predictably passed over in favor of a law and order solution. The very fact that Negro has many just cause of complaint adds to the seriousness of the propaganda and should encourage all loyal and thoughtful Negroes in the state to organize to oppose the activities of such radicals, which cannot but lead to serious trouble if they are permitted to continue the propaganda which they now disseminate in such large volume. The same ideas cropped up in the opinions of the American consul at Kingston, Jamaica, who saw Garvey as a clever scoundrel whose civil rights activity made him a menace. In the world of this official, while he is clever enough to temper his propaganda with statements that he is for the Negro rather than against the white man or any government, his speeches are not lacking in many references of fighting for Negro rights. And I believe that a tendency of his propaganda is to alienate the loyalty of American and British Negroes to his association. Thus, did fighting for the black man's rights become a crime? Garvey, for his part, did precious little to calm the fears of United States officialdom. It could not be otherwise, for in order to reach and stir the black masses, he had to say the things that needed to be said. In his 1917 denunciation of the East St. Louis riots, for example, his language gave no indication of the fact that he was an alien in the country for a little more than a year. Addressing an assemblage that contained a goodly share of police officers in the era of deportation for foreign-born radicals. He condemned the collusion of civil authorities in the massacre as a crime against humanity. For 300 years, he said, the Negroes of America have given their lifeblood to make the Republic the first among the Negroes of the world. And all among this time, there has never been even 1 year of justice, but on the contrary, a continuous round of oppression. Many of his early speeches, too, urged black men not to participate further in white men's wars after their vain sacrifices in the World War. In a speech delivered not long after the termination of hostilities, he declared, the first dying that is to be done by the black man in the future will be done to make himself free. And then, when we are finished, if we have any charity to bestow, we may die for the white man. But as for me, I think I have stopped dying for him. This speech scandalized the Lust Committee. Their comment was not unexpected. These extravagant and bombastic utterances may look trivial in cold print, but the continuous utterance of such sentiments has a very disquieting and pernicious effect upon the untutored element of the Negro population. Not least of Garvey's provocations to United States officialdom were his ambiguous flirtations with communism. Like many other black leaders, he resolutely prevented the communists from coopting his organization, while at the same time hesitating to condemn them, and at times openly endorsing the system of government in Russia. In many other ways, Garvey seemed to have gone out of his way to harass United States officialdom. The Washington Conference of the Limitation of Armaments, for example, was greeted by a Garvey telegram to the effect that 400 million black people were unprecedented and commending to them President Harney's promise of democracy for black folk. Again in 1922, Garvey wrote Secretary of State Charles E. Hughes asking for a Department of State representatives to attend the session on colonialism at his international convention. The offer was declined. There was little about Garvey's program that could not be construed as a threat, direct or indirect, to the United States. His doctrine of militant racial struggle could sometimes be transferred into strikes against such powerful United States corporations as the United Fruit Company in several Latin American countries. His African program, too, with its anti imperialist and nationalistic implications, would, if successful, augur ill for American financial interests. Garvey took the position that American capital would seek to expand its influence in Africa. In 1929, he wrote, Europe today is bankrupt and cannot advance much capital for the development of African institutions, and therefore they are trying to interest American capitalists in the exploitation of the wealth of the great continent. Having determined practicality from the inception of his sojourn in the United States that Garvey was a dangerous character, various governmental police, quasi officials, and corporate agencies subjected Garvey and the UNIA to a constant surveillance of international proportions. Where possible, their surveillance was supplemented by infiltration into the UNIA. Garvey's charge that agents of government organizations, corporations, and individuals interested in the exploitation of Negroes operated among the membership and officers of the association in several cities was hardly an exaggeration. One UNIA Counsel General, Garvey noted upon, whom he depended for legal advice, was appointed an assistant attorney general after his conviction. White reporters who interviewed Garvey were also suspected of being intelligence men. At a speech in Jamaica, shortly after his deportation from the United States in 1927, Garvey declared, the great United States government got men to investigate me. All manner of Secret Service people were set after me, and 20% of my employees were United States Secret Service. I believe that I must have cost the United States government about $5 million in 10 years.
Thank you, Brother Mason. We're gonna stop there for the sake of time. Um, Again, I mean, this is just I think you read 4 pages, and this is at least a 20-page lesson. But it's a very long lesson, is kind of where I'm going. As you should pull from the introduction, the UNIA is seen as a form of a threat from a nationalistic standpoint, and the key reason comes down to the word of patriotism or loyalty. The question that Mr. Garvey forces us to ask is, who will we tie our loyalties to? Or is it to, this land that enslaved our people, many of our people, or do we, have our loyalty to each other as a race and as a people? And at the end of the day, you can't, those two realities can't coexist. We can be, quote unquote, supporters of the United States. And I've even argued the term, which I kind of disagree with in regards to our people, but proud Americans. You can be that, but you still must have a primary focus. And you still must have, if America is going to war with an African country, we as Garveyites, have to make a decision. And it became obvious that we can't necessarily play on both sides. And the fact that we have an open loyalty to our people, to our race, and to the mother continent, that's a cause for concern for the United States and their desire to make us into patriots. So that's my understanding. In brief, any questions, comments, concern, Lady President? I want to go to
Yeah.
you first.
Okay. I don't think it has anything to do with patriotism. I mean, we have all the wars that has ever been fought in this country. Our men and women, well, mostly men at the time, gave their lives for the war and then came back and was treated, horribly.
Hmm.
I think it's just the subjugation, the desire to subjugate the black race and the agitation that they foresee, um, you know, in the education of black people, the education of people on the African continent. Because either they exploit us here or they exploit us there. And so whenever they see any kind of threat to that, they will lie, they will plant people to tell lies, they'll do whatever they can. And so those are the efforts that we saw throughout this chapter. It wasn't even just the US, it was Europe, it was, um, just businesses from the US and Europe, just total blatant 100% attempt to exploit. And whenever there was a threat to that, then they had an issue and then they sat in a corner and mastermind lies to sabotage the movement. And as we know from history, this wasn't the first one that they sabotage and lock up people and even have people in jail right now for stories that they got sellouts to concoct so they can keep them in jail. So this is America. And so we always have to remember that. And we're not any different from anyone else who puts race first. The only difference is that most of the others are about it. We talking more about it than doing something about it. That's the main thing. And then whenever we have any movement that's strong and any systems in place that's strong, we have to utilize our lawyers that are graduating from college every year. We have black attorneys. We should have good representation because we know these people. We know what they're capable of. We see how they go in and destroy communities that black people have built with their blood, sweat, and tears, you know, and then turn around and call us inferior and all that. So it's a very parasitic parasitic psychopathic relationship that they have for black people as a whole. They don't want us around them, but they don't want us to separate ourselves and do well without them.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's ever going to change. It may not be as prominent as it was then, but we always have to keep that in the back of our mind and just know, that we have no friends really when it comes to those folks, and the only friends we have are each other. So we always have to practice unity, be about unity, supporting black businesses, and be- s- vibe on that.
Yeah.
That's our best course. We're here and on the continent. That's the only thing that's gonna make the difference. Not trying to please them or trying to be used as their pawn.
Yeah.
So
So
yes.
um, Anyone else, comments, observations, questions? No. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the chapter goes into a lot. It talks about all the crazy things that were done, but the introduction kind of scratches the surface, but it's just the same evils throughout.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to find. No, I'm not gonna find it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Dr. Kuda. That's fine.
How do we protect Black movements from being criminalized today?
How do we protect Black movements from being criminalized today?
Mhm.
Is the question.
Yes.
We Can I interject real quick?
You can try.
You know how we have the Black Cross nurses and we have the African Legion and all the different pieces? We need to have the UNIA legal team, a team that supports us in all the endeavors as we make moves and do radical things for the uplift of our people. We need to have that in place always so that everything is, done properly and everything is done, to circumvent sabotagers. Because there's going to always be sabotagers inside and outside. But anyway, I don't mean to take the floor from Dr. Kuda, but that's something I've been reflecting on myself.
Uh, well, I mean, it's a very straightforward question. Attorney Imhotep, I know your ears, hopefully your ears got perked up with with the question. I'd like to get your insight. But the way you worded the question, how do we prevent the organization from being criminalized by the United States? The very first thing that I would say is for us not to commit any crimes. If we don't commit crimes, that will make it harder for them to criminalize, quote unquote, the UNIA. Just like Mr. Garvey said in the beginning, or just like the text said in the beginning, um, where they were looking for something to charge the UNIA with, but they couldn't find anything at the time. So abiding by the laws of the land in which we live is an important step to make sure that we're not criminalized. But I think there's still going to be a certain mentality of concern. Um, and in regards to what I was saying previously, I get it from this paragraph here, to where we've made it clear that we want to fight for ourselves instead of fighting for the quote unquote the United States. So that by us stating something like that, that puts us in a realm where the United States would want to criminalize us or punish us for having that mentality or lack of loyalty to the United States. Brother Mason, I see you got your hand. 1 second. But it was this one. Many of his early speeches urged black men not to participate further in white men's wars after their vain sacrifices in the World War. So they were coming back from World War, as Lady President mentioned, and Mr. Garvey was kind of saying, "All right, that's enough fighting for others." In a speech delivered not long after the termination of hostiles, he declared, "The first dying that is to be done by the black man in the future will be done to make himself free. And when we are finished, if we have any charity to bestow, we may die for the white man. But as for me, I think I have stopped dying for him." So that's going to be an issue with any um, nation that seeks loyalty from its individuals. By us stating that, we're going to die for each other before we will die for this country, puts us in a quote unquote negative light, and the government would want to criminalize that type of behavior. Brother Mason, you put your hand down?
But Brother John,
Yes.
remember there was a passage, I think it was from this same book, but I don't remember which chapter, where Garvey quoted, he had a quote saying something regards to men coming back from serving in the army and got lynched in their uniforms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, how could they have any kind of weird feelings when he give the statement you just read when that is happening? And that was happening, you know, at the time when, the I'm not sure which one of the war it was, but he mentioned
World
how,
World War One.
right. So you go and you fight and a lot of you lose your lives and then you make it back here without dying and then they lynch you while you were in your uniform?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would, yeah. So,
Yeah, Mr. Garvey made it clear we drew the line. No more of that. No more of us uh, going to war and fighting for them. I think Muhammad Ali is a great example.
yes,
Willing to say, I don't have no problem with these, Viet Congs. Viet Congs ain't never, did nothing bad to him personally, and his fight or his, issue and disagreement was with, the people right there, the Americans that are here in this country,
right.
not, another people in a whole nother land. So
Yep,
yeah, that meant again, and I think that's a great example because when you look at Muhammad Ali, they made that criminal behavior. They made um, not not fighting for them. They criminalized that behavior. So I think the best thing we can do is not openly break the law, but in the sense of a Muhammad Ali, I think we do have to make a stand and stand for something. And Mr. Garvey even said that in the beginning, not to fear jail. Only crooks and thieves and cowards fear to go to prison. Men with principles don't care about jail. So if we have to have that stance and position to be strong in what it is that we believe. And if our behavior becomes quote unquote criminal for us to be nationalistic amongst ourselves and support each other, want to die for one another. Um, I think that's an honorable incarceration. I think MLK said something about that as well, about being able to go to jail for the right reasons. So, Dr. Kudo, I don't know if that answers your question directly. I want to bring in Attorney Imhotep, our legal defense coordinator, and to clean up anything I may have said that I shouldn't have said.
Thank you. Yes, it does. But it would be nice to hear also from Attorney Imhotep. Thank you.
Yeah. Attorney Imhotep, I see you, Macy, as you putting your hand up, like you waving, hand up, hand down. Attorney Imhotep, are you there? Check the.
Yes, President John.
Did you get the question?
Uh, you can restate it. That would help.
How do we prevent the UNI? I think Dr. Kuda, correct me if I'm wrong. How do we prevent the UNIA or members of the UNIA from being criminalized by the United States? I remember that word criminalized.
It's how do we protect Black movements
Right.
from being criminalized now, today?
Attorney Motep.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yes,
In the sense that the charges, no matter what you do, if the charges or the body want to bring forces want to bring charges against you, they will, and you would be charged by whatever the statute is, criminal statute is. That you can't prevent it. It's something you can't prevent. If they want to charge you, they will,
Yep.
and they can.
Yep.
And it's whether you are found guilty or not. And when the body is against you as it is, which the we talked about this, the League of Nations and the United Nations were both colonial bodies created when we were not really a part of those bodies, and they were created not in our interest, but in their interest, and they will do then whatever needs to they feel needs to be done to fulfill their objectives. And so there's nothing much that you can't prevent charges being filed against you. You can only protect yourself um, against those charges. That was in part the piece I was reading in Chicago, July 27th, 1919, in Chicago. The Chicago riots were right after the ending of World War II. 1919. That's what we have to remember. We have to view history in our perspective. We are the oldest people on this earth. We have to. This is I think it's Professor James. Maybe miss. I can't recall his last name.
Small.
Small,
Smalls.
I believe, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Very important. World War One was really World War II in our perspective. The World War One was the ending of or the beginning of the ending of the Berlin Conference, when they set out. Then Europe set out against the African and colonized and brutalized the African. We talked about the Germans in Namibia, the Belgians in the Congo, the British and the French set out and divided the continent of Africa, which is still in the same boundaries as of they are today. So this was in 1919, really World War II. There in Illinois, Chicago, people at the end of the war, men hung in their uniforms, after fighting there in Europe. And the same happened in World War III. We commonly refer to as World War II, and that's what happened to the Senegalese, the black Senegalese, who were fighting for the French, and the late 1943 or whatever. They went to get their wages for fighting in the French, and they were basically massacred. And the French, excuse me, the Senegalese brothers today are presenting that claim, genocide claim against the French, that they are having to answer for. And the same thing in Namibia is asking the same of the Germans who massacred them all, in Namibia, but all over Africa. So it's over the scenarios played out over and over and over again, and that's what we have to. That's what we're fighting against. So it's nothing new, uh, and we really, as Sister Doctor Ariana is talking about we really don't today get anything out of the UN, and we should really leave it. It does us no good. So it's a continuous struggle that we need to resolve in our own interests and not be railroaded or blinded, manipulated by the forces that be European American forces. They do not have our interests at heart, and so the war continues uh, here, even today. So that's just some of my thoughts here. Uh, Thank you. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Attorney Matep. We'll get ready to proceed, but to bring it back to Dr. Kuda, specifically in regards to our Division 421, because that is a broad question. How do we protect all Black organizations? That's a tough one for me to speak to. But one thing Mr. Garvey does encourage is proactive propaganda is what I'll call it. And we talked about it in Message to the People where Mr. Garvey says that the government should be aware of certain programs that we do. So while he says our education should be private, the fact that we are providing additional education to our children, our communities, that can be promoted to the government. Our social endeavors, gatherings, Garvey Day, events for the community, that should be promoted. Our humanitarian efforts, charitable efforts, these programs, these initiatives should constantly be promoted, and this is how our local government should know who it is that we are. And that makes it, I would say, makes it a little bit more difficult for them to criminalize the organization because we become an organization that's known for charitable aspects, and it builds that relationship and that diplomacy. So that would be how I would recommend us locally to protect ourselves is by developing a diplomatic relationship with the government, um, promoting our programs, but at the same time supporting, engaging, and probably promoting some of their programs as well. We talked about like some of the job fairs that they have going on.
Yes.
Any, different programs that council members or the mayor may have going on, or mayors, because South Fulton mayor is also very active. But us collaborating, working together, not waiting until we need help to reach out and develop that relationship. So having those relationships before we are quote unquote criminalized is a proactive effort that I would recommend. 6:48 p.m. We're going to close out the topic and we're going to shift over to officers' reports. So officers, this is an opportunity. We talked about this. Well, we just talked about it on Thursday in the business meeting, but we want to expand, the programs that we're doing locally, have an opportunity to kind of ask questions about them, discuss scheduling, anything like that, and also, most importantly, request support for those programs. So I'll start as president, and then we'll kind of go from there. Nothing is major. There's no, it's not like, you're getting graded on or anything like that. Again, this is just an opportunity for us to engage with our constituents, and also make sure that the things that we're doing is in line with the needs of the community in some level. So for myself, President, my focus right now, and everyone should have seen it in the invitation, officers training coming up on the 23rd. I think the flyer says 22nd. 22nd is a Monday, but we'll start on the 23rd at 9 p.m. I'm bringing up the flyer now. There. This will be 6 months. It'll be 6 months for us, all officers. You know, I need everyone engaged and participating. This is basically the language of Division 421, how I like to communicate, how I like to resolve any differences outside of the Constitution, obviously. But when it comes to the spirit of how we function, some of the qualitative aspects of how we function, how much money we should be raising, things like that. I prefer to communicate that as it's stated in message to the people. So, strategies for propaganda, what should we do for propaganda? Message to the people. What are the fundamentals of character? Message to the people. Hygiene is also in that as well. But a common grounds of understanding of expectation for the officers, for the members, and officers would include leaders. So I would say it's a way for the body to hold me accountable, but it's also a way for me to hold my officers accountable. So we go through this. This will be the 5th year that we've gone through this, this is an annual part of our division. Message to the People Course of African Philosophy is described as the closest thing to a book that Marcus Garvey ever wrote. There's another book that I've been made aware of, but it didn't make it to publication. It was a novel. But this is the course of instruction for the leadership to carry on the UNIA after Mr. Garvey's transition. So for me personally, I don't see any better Garvey training that we can give in order to understand the UNIA as Mr. Garvey intended for us to understand the UNIA. I don't personally think there's anything better that we can find or create. So officers starting September 23rd, Tuesdays, the format will be a little bit different this year. We have to, well, not have to, but we're following the UNIA Rock Media. So UNIA Rock Media goes from 8 to 9 p.m. Our officers training will start at 9 p.m. It'll probably be an hour and a half, and we'll do the reading offline, but we'll just spend the time that we're together on the call in the class, on the questions and the review of the answer of each of the questions. So that's my focus. It'll be a focus for the next several months, and outside of any additional programs that we want to be doing. But I'll send out an official curriculum for this, hopefully this evening, if not this evening, sometime this week. So outside of this, I can't think of anything else that is on my mind. Financial reports on a regular basis. We've done July and August, so we're up
Sorry,
to date.
President John, before
Yes.
you move further away from the 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 study session from
Yes.
Tuesday, before you go away too far, I recall President General giving you the go ahead to utilize your time as you had it. I don't know if I misunderstood, but it was like as long as maybe one of the 2 days we commit, but it was like don't interrupt your studies. I don't know if I heard that correctly.
No, I spoke with President General directly Monday and Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. The UNIA desires for all members to be on the radio program. So They do not want to have any competing programs Monday, Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
No problem. Any other questions? If there are not, that's all. That is my report. That is my focus. Sorry, I'm trying to get the PowerPoint back right. Next, Lady President, anything you wish to share? Also, Lady President, head of Black Cross Nurses.
Yes. Continue to work on programs for the Black Cross Nurse Division. Of course, participate with other divisions and in locally as well as nationally in different programs to benefit our members. We have basic life support training. We have a lot of retired nurse and still practicing nurses as part of the Black Cross Nurse, and we have some holistic herbalist and these kind of professionals that we're trying to just join forces with to provide the best options for our people and to be on standby for any kind of global madness like COVID, things of that nature. So that's on the forefront, and we're every day working on ways to improve that, working to improve the communication, working for us all to be on the same page on the national level. And then outside of the Black Cross Nurse, fine-tuning a program to increase membership and to add programs to benefit the race from a community level, and possibly even presenting at the HEC, depending. I think the HEC wants, I mean, I think the best thing to do on certain programs that we may come up with is to fine tune them locally before even presenting it at HEC. But yeah, that's up for discussion and stuff. But basically, a program for helping with to improve, increase our membership, and that is going to fuel any other programs that can make an impact and benefit our people on a community level. So I know that doesn't say a whole lot, but that's where the focus is, at least. Improving, getting better with Black Cross Nurse, with adding members, and members can everything can really be solved with good membership.
Give thanks, Lady President. Any questions for our Lady President? I got a couple questions, but I'll open it to the floor first. I don't know if I asked, was there any questions for me, but
My daughter wanted to do oh, the life, what's it called, the CPR.
The basic life support.
Yeah, CPR one to get a CPR certificate. And I called Sister Marcia.
Yes.
Yeah, and but I I would have loved to rather speak with you, Sister Diane. But I don't know to what extent do us as Division 421 do that coaching, whether we do it on Zoom and do our children get certification upon completion?
Yes. We could dive into and find out, you know, how we can locally, go to an actual classroom and work on dummies and stuff like that. But essentially what I did to get the certification, um, is basically we watch several videos
Mm-hmm,
about all their various aspects,
mm-hmm,
the various aspect, the proper way to administer breath and the compressions for adults, for infants, for young children,
mm-hmm,
and basically this procedure that you go through, step one, through to whatever, when you revive, to the to reviving the patient. So all of that, you watch the videos, and then you take a quiz, and you go through the quiz with Sister Marcia, and
mm-hmm.
she actually gives you the certification.
And did you have to pay $90 for that?
I think, if I am not mistaken, I believe it was about $70.
Oh, $70, yeah.
Hmm.
Mm. So if we were to offer it as Division 421, would you be able to offer certificates?
Well, I wouldn't do the certification, but we can find out how many people want to be certified and get a group of us together and go through the process together.
Are we not in a position to issue certificates? What stops us
Well,
from
I'm
being
not a
able?
I'm not a nurse, and I felt comfortable with her doing it, given the fact that she's a nurse, and I do believe that there is some kind of I think the Red Cross administer a certificate that puts her in a spot to certify others. And if memory serves me correct, I believe other people, other oh brother, I'm missing the sister's name. She was at our circle. Um, she has many years of experience as a nurse.
Yasmin.
You know what I'm talking about? I
Yes,
forgot her
Sister
name.
Yasmin. She's the director of
Yes, yes,
nursing.
I believe she can also do the certifications, if I'm not mistaken.
I would love for us as Division 421 to have the accreditation to be able to certify people. There's a very low unit standard. It shouldn't be hard for us to get the accreditation. So if you would like, I can help to identify what do we need to do to be accredited to be able to offer that course to our members free of charge.
Well, definitely, we can find out and take advantage of that. That would be amazing.
I will do some research for you, Lady President, and get back to you. Thank you.
Okay.
With
Thank you, Dr. Kuda. That sounds great.
Lady President, if I may, we did have a guest. Sister Vita, are you still there? Sister Vita? Sister Vita, you there? She might be we'll try to.
She is on mute. She is present, but she's on mute.
Okay, she's a guest. Um, she's brought in or got the invitation through our Detroit. I think she's our treasurer, Sister Elon Shabazz. So she's a friend of Sister Elon, and she has some experience in nursing as well. So I was trying to get her to comment on her thoughts or any assistance that can be provided. But there's three questions, kind of two or three questions I got for you, Lady President. They're more so in lines to schedule, and Dr. Kuda mentioned one of them. As far as I'll start from the top. Um, from parent body, Black Cross nurse level, do you know when the next meeting is and what is the regularity in which they meet? Because I haven't seen anything probably since about June.
Mm-hmm. Um, it's not weekly. We kind of space them out. It's usually, I think where we're at right now, we've been meeting monthly, and usually we would get some notice that we're gonna have. The last one we had, there wasn't much notice, but usually, at least once in the month we'll do something, and then we'd get adequate notice. So enough of us are on supporting and talking about, the various aspect of what's going on in the medical industry
Well,
and what we can.
that was the first question is the next meeting. Do you know when the next gathering is supposed to be?
Not off the top, to be honest. I would have to find out.
Okay, that's the first question. Second one, Sister K had a proposal that was approved at convention that was in relation to Black Cross nurses, and it sounded like some form of collaboration. Do you know if that has been discussed on?
Yes, so there was a space allotted for the Black Cross nurse team in the Garvey Voice so that we can post articles about crucial things
Mhm.
and things of that nature. And I believe Sister Kirsten had presented an article pertaining to the benefits of chlorophyll. It was a really nicely written article, but the floor is open for us to continue to do more of that, and things along those lines, and getting it into the Garvey voice, basically giving us a voice in the Garvey voice.
So
Um,
that would be a representative of, or just a particular member providing an article to leadership for, health, and it'll go.
Member of the Black Cross nurse, and just coming up, being able to get our. I don't. It don't have to be an article of the same nature, but anything pertaining to health, the health of our people. In fact, there were some different things issued at the convention, pertaining to the Black Cross nurse, that would be good to focus on, different viruses and stuff and ways to address them. That would be good to focus on in our meetings, in our next meetings, upcoming meetings. Um, Simple ways to treat certain ailments. I remember a, a package of some sort was I don't have it with me, but some information along those lines was handed out at convention, and I did do have it. It's not with me right now though.
Well, okay, that brings me to my last question is the vision for local Black Cross nurses, and I think Dr. Kuda kind of touched on it, but um, do you foresee you know, the Black Cross nurses locally coming together or having any programs prior to the end of the year?
I do. I do because a lot of people in our community are into health and healing and proper ways to eat and exercise, just overall wellness, body, mind, and spirit wellness. A lot of people in our community locally are about that. And so I think it's just a matter of reaching out and getting some of them engaged, from a membership level and also for participating on that level. And then, of course, um, as a whole, we could all take advantage of the basic life support, as Dr. Kuda and I just touched on, and other things to just make us more ready and better able to serve our community. We should always have a sense of readiness, for anything, not just emergency stuff and disaster, but as a whole. And yeah, yeah, we discuss also food readiness and some of our meetings, um, disaster readiness, and just having the knowledge to share with our team. But yes, for sure, in terms of increasing membership, we also want to increase the Black Cross nurse with more professionals on different fronts, whether it's mental health, whether it's nutrition, you know, fitness, um, nurses. A lot of nurses. I was impressed with the New York division. Seem to have a lot of nurses. So yeah, definitely increase membership.
Okay. Okay. All right. You ready to proceed? Eh, Yeah. Okay. That's all I've got. Any other questions for Lady President or myself as president? Okay. Yeah, we still got quite a few officers to go through, but I think we'll be good for the 8 o'clock hour. Brother Macy is first vice president. You have a 3-minute report. Brother Macy, is she there?
Sorry about that. Trying to get off the mute.
No problem.
But greetings, everybody. My name is Brother Omasius, First Vice President, Business Development Coordinator. Right now, I was some of the objective. Sorry about my background. I will sum up the objective of the business department up in three P: people, products, and peace of mind. Uh, we have to continuous focus has always been for this organization has always been membership. People, we can if we have a forest and no one to turn the wood into timber and wood into houses, then we just have a land. Uh, Whenever you have a resource, you have to have energy to put into it. So that's each other. So as we continue to grow our organization, the goal is for each and every one of us to take pride in what we're doing, and hopefully, uh, that pride could be in the products that we produce. We talked about earlier how to continuously keep governments from looking at us as criminals. That's if we continue to produce. If we produce great things, like President John said, with positive propaganda, and that propaganda could be the work that we do. Uh, and the last thing, as we have products, as we produce those products that the world can enjoy, we can create peace of mind for each other. So the goal of peace of mind, right now, this government does a really good job of selling what's called the American dream. Uh, it's the number one most sold product on the planet. They're propagating it everywhere, and it's big. It gets bought into because the people need peace of mind. So as an organization, Garvey went around and said, wherever Black people are, we were at the bottom. And the goal, he said, was where our men are big affairs, we must help make them. I believe we do a good job of finding people and helping them develop, helping them become a good product in themselves, the best version of themselves. We are an improvement association. Now, hopefully, we can help improve you. The course of African philosophy that we have is a course that's supposed to improve us as being honorable people. Garvey set a goal for us to be self-reliant and self-confident. He wants us to believe in each other, have race pride. And that race pride is the fact that we can, what man has done, man can do, and we can do great things ourselves. But I think that they say that we can't work together, and I believe we do a good job of showing people that we are focused on working together, and we're focused on working for the betterment of our race, and through unity, there should be peace of mind. So that's the goal of the business department this year, and hopefully the peace of mind can come from incentives for participation, things that's going to improve our lives. We have to have economic systems this year. So every Thursday we have of our business development meetings. Uh, every second and fourth Thursday, I apologize, is when it's actually scheduled. But we often do more than that. But every second and fourth Thursday, we want to hopefully, if you have ideas of how we can find people, if you have ideas on how we can develop products, if you have ideas on how we can develop peace of mind for our race, we'd definitely love to have you on and your support. Race first.
Race first, just for confirmation before we open the floor. No business meeting this week. We'll pick up the 25th.
Yes.
Okay, that's good with me. Any questions, comments for Brother Macy's first vice president and business coordinator? No questions, no questions. Okay. If there aren't any questions, we'll proceed to our First Lady Vice President, Sister Cecily. Sister Cecily there?
Yes. Hey, family. So, yes, as First Lady Vice President, I just want to say I'm also very eager to assist with the Black Cross nurses. I know that's going to be like one of our primary focuses, and I'm just looking forward to all that we're going to accomplish. I'm also looking forward to officers training, and that's it for now. Race first.
Not a problem. Thank you, First Lady Vice President and Arts and Culture Coordinator, Sister Cecily. Any questions for Sister Cecily?
I just have a quick question.
Lady President.
Hi,
Okay.
Sister Cecily.
Hey.
I was wondering, did that lady ever get back with you about the flag? Are we still doing that?
The flags.
We're gonna try to create our own flags, sewing basically.
Yes, I mean the space is still available for us.
Okay.
Um, I know that we kind of got away from that discussion about materials because we had other focuses for
Yes,
August.
yes.
Yeah, so we have to revisit that. Hopefully, we can create space in the next business meeting that we have.
And is it something you'll have time to focus on, or do you still want to do it, or you want to leave it for next year?
Um, I'm ready to get started like as soon as possible.
Okay.
So so we can have flags. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
folks at the business department too, so it is an immediate focus for us too. So
Okay.
we
And
can definitely talk
I'm
about it on
willing
Thursday.
to and I'm willing to participate in that as well. So, we just keep each other abreast of what's going on with that.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
agree. Sister Cecily's had a great focus on that. So yeah, let's not wait till next year. Let's try to make some progress this year and see what we can produce before the year is over.
Okay.
I have a quick question for you, President John.
Yes, Dr.
At the upcoming HCC as well as the convention, are we allowed to sell flags as a division?
Um,
Because when I saw Lady President Diane selling those flags, I thought it was for our division. Only when the first assistant announced, when they announced, that they were selling flags and Sister Diane is the one who was going around because I bought one for $5 and I thought it was our division's flags being sold by
No,
Lady Diane.
I basically got a box of flag to sell, and I was just trying to help.
yeah,
You
those
know,
are New York's flags. To answer your question, I would say yes, but we don't want to step on anybody's toes. So
right.
Brooklyn has a $5 flag and it's a certain size. We don't want to try to undercut them, sell a slightly larger flag for the same price. I like our standard large flag. I want that to be our what we're kind of what differentiates us from everyone else. But I do like the idea that they have of having something that's small and much more affordable. But to do the exact same thing or to impede upon Philadelphia or New York's market, I would not recommend that. But if we're providing something that they do not have or size that they
Mhm.
don't have, I don't see any issue with that.
Okay,
I
I
I
agree.
was kind of I was kind of looking at it as just fundraising for the event, as always. At these convention we do build in funds and all kind of funds just for the UNIA overall. So that's kind of how I viewed it. But I do think that I love the flag, the big flag that you have, Brother John. I think it would be great for us to make it a goal to each have our own UNIA flag hanging hanging outside our house. I think that
Absolutely.
would be just absolutely wonderful. No announcing to anybody, no permission from anyone, just make our big UNA flag as big as we can get it and hang it outside of our house. Why
Um,
not?
I agree. Another step beyond that, in addition to us having it, and bring it all back to Sister Cecily and the proposal. Let's make Division 421 the place to get it, to get them from, to get the best quality, most reliable flags that you can get, and
Yes, I agree.
so that we can ship them out from Atlanta, all throughout the country, all over the world.
Good idea.
One
Yes.
thing, one thing I see, Brother Cornelius. I do want to I think we had talked about it this year, taking a flag up to HEC in Philadelphia. We didn't have any ready. So I definitely want to produce some flags prior to HEC so that we can have something to take up to Philadelphia, so that they can have a standard flag and we can kind of replace it every year that we come up there if we have to. Brother Cornelius. But that'll also be a promotion for us. Hey, that's a nice flag. Where'd you get that from? Atlanta Division made it for us.
Hmm.
Brother Cornelius, you on mute if you say anything. Brother Cornelius, did he drop off?
His hands are raised.
Cornelius, I see your hand. Oh, you're on mute though. All right, I'm gonna say that was an accidental hand raise. Brother Malik, second vice president. Anything you wish to report, share, support, request, current events?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Brother Malik. We'll meet again. Obviously, we're not closing out, but next mass meeting will be September 28th. Dr. Kuda, anything you have, Second Lady Vice President?
I'm just looking forward to our course on African philosophy. Can't wait.
Yeah.
And will I get a second certificate if I write the exam, or do you just take it as the first one is good enough?
I mean, usually the first one is good enough, but it won't hurt to go through it again, do the exam again. But what I would recommend at your stage, what you should be looking to complete is writing out the lessons.
Okay. Okay.
That's a
I'll do that.
level of certification that's above what I can give you. That puts you, in my opinion, that puts anyone that does that on par with the original students. That is what they had to do to complete the course. And there would be, at that point, I don't think there's anything anybody can tell you about the course, completing the course, because that's something that very few people can say that they've done.
When we write out the lessons, is it the slides that you sent that we need to write out, or
No,
where
ma'am.
do I? Hmm?
It is the book.
The book?
It is the book. Yes.
Message to the people?
Yes. It's each lesson, every word, every paragraph. You're just rewriting exactly what is in the text.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you, Dr. Kuda. Brother Eric, third vice president, anything brief report? Brother Eric, you there?
Nothing I can't really put with member share. Instead of going twice, I don't mind going last. It's a report.
This is your slot. We're going through president and vice presidents. We're at third vice president. We're going to go to Sister Ayana next, and then a couple other officers. Then we'll go to member share.
All right, I can share my screen.
You'll share your screen one moment. Make it.
If possible.
You should be able to share. I'm gonna stop sharing over here.
All right, can we see?
Yeah, it's
Privacy, news, target audience,
it's sideways now. Like
sideways.
the landscape didn't translate.
Oh, there you go.
All right, okay. I try to go last, but for the sake of time and getting to the point, I'm the third vice president, so I'm like I try to think of where everything, like responsibility wise, everything kind of falls up when there's vacancies under. So I don't really think of this as a big list of things, but privacy, news, and target audience. I I I don't understand a few things about this still. Like there's some places I'm still a little confused. So I feel for the sake of updates and staying consistent since the next one's in September, I think of progress as keeping up or trying to stay knowledgeable about what this really is. If that makes sense. I can move on from it, but it's okay. Some of the only things that made me interested at first is the Constitution. That's what really hooked my attention because there was already a list of things before. So from when we were talking before in prep for this, I feel putting more into, and for the sake of events as well, I think that putting more focus on learning how much is actually in there and how much of the answers are already written out prep wise and how to do things locally and how to really make an impact in these types of programs that we would come up with. So just from what I've heard so far, not bringing up any new ones because of time, but we were talking about legal. There's a few things that go into that. So just topically, one of the first things we could focus on is making sure that we have the flags of where we're shipping them to, kind of like prerequisite types of things. So prep work. There's a lot of prep work that goes into these types of things. And also 2027 ATL HEC. So I think that's really it. Are there any questions? I jumped around a lot.
So basically, if I'm understanding correctly, um, what you're saying is some of the answers or some of the things that we uh, present in terms of protection for ourselves as a whole, as an organization, is found in the Constitution. So for us to dive into that more.
Yes, we're about to go into the course. So alongside those things, the Constitution has it's the after part. Not saying that you can't go into it not understanding the course or having not gone through the course, but once you hear the things in it, the Constitution is where it's at. That's where the next, or that's where I think the next move is. I think that it's in directionally, because there's positional things. Not saying that we can't do it as we are, or that there's no way to get any motion, as is. But as we're getting more people, I think that it would be really, really, really good to know and push that there is space for whatever it is. Well, maybe not whatever. There are some things we don't really need right now. I won't lie. But productively, there is space. There's space for whatever it is that you feel the problem is. And there is a problem, and there's ways to fix it. And there's space here.
Mm-hmm. And the Constitution addresses a lot of it.
Yeah, it really lays that out.
Awesome.
Yes, that's a great point, Brother Eric. All vice presidents, lady and male, particularly both of them, because males, we should be tied up with Legion just as much as our sisters are tied up with Black Cross nurses. But one of the additional responsibilities that I'm putting on us, no one has put this on anyone, but I'm going to put it on us because no one's thinking about it. Constitution. No, we've talked about it. We know what's going on, but it's like everybody else is focused on everything else. So if we don't make this a priority, if we don't have a prior discussion, there's going to be a lot of people that are upset and disappointed come HEC, and then probably for the next 5 years because they're not going to be able to change anything. So one of the things that I wanted to put forth on the last president's call, but we didn't have time to do reports, is a motion to have the Constitution Committee start now, and have as part of the Constitution Committee, each division will have representation. If that is not approved or understood, so be it. We still locally need to take that responsibility and begin to have meetings and discussions about what we plan to propose for constitutional amendment. So, Brother Eric, you're right in alignment. I would have liked to have said, we presented it at the past president's call, but at the October president's call, we will present that, and whether it's approved or not, locally, we still need to make it a priority to review the Constitution in preparation for any updates that we deem beneficial. That's all I got. Thank you, Brother Eric. Any questions or comments for Brother Eric? Great report, Brother Eric. Good job. Okay, wrapping up. We only got a couple officers and we're getting short on time as well. Brother Kamal Kofi Jahi, also known as Brother James Avery. Anything you wish to share? I need to get with your brother in LaGrange. I got to get him the information for that October program. Anything that you want to share or programs?
Excuse me. You heard me, bro.
Warranties.
Man, Terry won the shootout.
Yeah. No, not in the moment. Um, no, not in the moment. Thank you. Grace
Okay.
Bird.
Thank you, brother Kamal. Um, and Lady President, when you were speaking about, or when I was asking about a place or a meeting for Black Cross nurses, Legion kind of came to my mind as well. But we need to, we just got to put some time on the calendar. Kwanzaa's coming up, so a lot of the planning and discussion is going into December planning already. I don't think we have time personally for anything. Well, we could do some in October, but it would have to be like a in it wouldn't be anything that we could promote for outside people to really support at this time. But if we want to have something for outsiders, outside of the body, that really has some time to promote and attend, November would be earliest for that. But like I said, Kwanzaa planning is already started, and I'm just going into opportunities for us to have a gathering. Um, but
Yes.
it's something we need to talk about. I'm telling I'm being upfront with everybody. My focus is going to be on officers training. So outside events, I'm not planning anything. I will be supporting anything that's going on, but I will not have the bandwidth to lead any initiatives or programs. I can still support, but as far as planning and organizing and promoting, I
What
would.
are we doing for October 31st?
I don't think we haven't planned anything. I think we're gonna have to pass this year.
Maybe we could use that day and use that for the gathering as well
We'd have to do a
at the
lot of
grill.
planning.
Or,
We had to do a lot of planning in the next couple weeks, to be able to promote it a month in advance.
well, it's for us primarily.
Well,
So everyone on this call is here already, and they just need to block out the 31st. I mean, who can come, of course, and block out the 31st and come with the mindset of bringing a guest. And then, we usually have something on the 31st to counter the worldly Halloween.
yep. And the 31st is a Friday this year, so there should be more support.
So
Uh,
we can counter the Halloween maybe at the
Lady,
Griot or somewhere, or um, if
Lady,
nothing's going on at the shrine, but
I thought that was Ancestors Day.
right.
yeah. Halloween is Ancestors Day, but
Yes, yes, Brother Malik. Thank you. So why can't we make Ancestors Day our gathering day as well?
this is the first time we've discussed Ancestors Day this year. So I'm just
Right, but
trying to
I'm
think of
just saying
timing
we're
for
all on this call, and usually for us, normally it's not a big thing for external people. I mean, at least I don't think unless didn't we coordinate with another group last year for this?
No, this is our program.
So that's all I'm saying that we were planning to have a gathering back in July and we never did it.
Yes,
So maybe it could be that day could also be used as our gathering day if everyone that's on this call are available and can participate in some form. But it's just an idea. I'm
I,
open.
I don't mind. I'm open as well. But Lady President, would you be willing to take the lead of that program and organizing that program? That's the big, that's the big question. Who's going to take the lead?
Mhm. To reach out to um does it hmm I was just wondering if we could do it on a Saturday too
Um,
instead of the Friday.
Would that be better for you to lead it if we did it on a Friday or Saturday rather than a Friday?
I was thinking it'd probably be a day when more people can come, even if it's just all of us on this call, except whoever is not in town, of course. Whoever cannot come because they're out of town. I was thinking it may be a day that most people will, to get a bigger attendance. Like if everyone on this call blocks out that day, whether it be the Friday or the Saturday, and plan to bring someone with them, you know,
Uh,
just a thought.
I do. I
We don't
don't
have
think
to do any big crazy planning. I mean, we got a good audience in front of us, and I think if as much of us on this call attend, who can attend, we could take a vote while we're on the call and see if there's even, I mean, it would be a gathering, and then it would be also we honor Ancestors Day and, you know, do
first
one.
question before we take a vote, who's leading the programming and organizing and planning?
I could
Okay. And the vote would be who
to
can,
see all who can attend that are on this call. So even if we don't do a mass external promotion, we have at least us to support it. And we just look at it as a gathering as well. And we can make potluck thing if we want to. And, we wear our ancestors' t-shirts or whatever just to honor our ancestors. And we could do it on the Friday or the Saturday if that is a better day to get to have a likelihood of, most of us being able to attend. It could be, maybe like uh noon to 6 or 2 to 6, something like that. Don't have to be the whole day. They can bring some family members. I don't know.
Lady President, I just personally feel we lose some of the spirit if we don't do it on the day of Halloween,
Okay, gotcha. That's fine.
because that was the intention, is to provide a African-centered, healthy alternative to
Yes. To
Halloween.
Halloween. Yes.
And
Gotcha.
I think
That makes sense.
we did a pretty good job last year as well. We had some unexpected attendance from children that were participating in Halloween in the community. So that that
It-
solidified for me the purpose of what it was that we were trying to do, and the impact. But yeah, we just got to plan properly and make sure we
I
execute.
think we were at the Griot and that turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
Kids came up in the yard. I remember that.
yeah. But it does take work, take some planning, some organization, um, some preparation, and I would not want to commit my leadership to that this year at this time, just because of short notice. But I could support it the 31st.
So can we see a show of hands of like who on the call can attend or block out that time on their calendar?
Dr. Kuda, you in New York. How you going?
If Dr. Kuda
We
can
can
attend,
do hybrid.
y'all local people better put your hand up if Dr. Kuda can attend.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it towards the end, but what if we just didn't do that and funded other events, like put $50 towards XYZ places? Like I'm sure we know a couple places that are doing something for that, and then maybe between now and then we could maybe seed a couple of those, like maybe $50 is maybe 7 kids buckets, and then they get to go do something or what have you, that type of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then from there, maybe we'd get the parent, maybe you know, who, yeah, I don't think we need people who are trick or treating. Definitely just the parents.
I mean, they one and the same, in a sense. But yeah, we always need the parent support. We don't recruit or um, do too much with children outside of the parents being involved.
Bandwidth was a good word. That it would save bandwidth.
Um, So you're saying instead of us organizing our own to just provide funding and be a sponsor to someone else's or another organization's program?
Yeah, we stay locked in with what we were doing and set up, help someone if they were already doing that.
That's an option. That's an option. It just it's hard for me to support because the alignment is usually different. It's usually like, I mean, I'm thinking about like a trunk or treat at a church, would probably be the closest thing to what we're trying to do, but I can't think of something that another
Yeah, pick
organization would
maybe
be
maybe
doing.
5 churches. I think we know about 2 of them personally.
If you can get us some organizations and some programs, we can vet, which
I
are
mean, are they
organizations.
focusing Ancestors Day or are they caught up in Halloween?
I think they're pretty much Halloween. That's what I'm saying. Like what we do is very particular and specific. And no one, I'm not gonna say no one, but I just don't think people are thinking the way that we're thinking. They even the truck or treats that I'm thinking about at church, they still do. Well, I guess some of them probably do healthier stuff than candy, but I've seen, just the same thing, candy. It's just a safer trick or treating. Instead of having to walk through the community to get the candy, come to the church and get candy.
If we start early enough, we might be able to have a say so. That'd be interesting to do before September. That I was gonna say that at the end though.
I'll leave that
That'd
to
be good to
you.
add to the list
I'll
because
leave that
there's
to
I'm not free for that.
I'll leave that to you and Lady President. If we can have something ready for the, let me see, September 25th or no, yeah, September 25th business meeting. I'm okay with that, but we need to have something by then, something that we can.
Nobody else is open to October 31st?
I don't think no shot.
I know
Well, Brother Art, is not local. Brother Mason's not local. Brother Kamal,
Dr. Kuda is not
the job
local.
for him.
Uh,
It would be good for, I don't want to say promotion, but like works, it'd be good, but it might be too much of an inconvenience for
mhm,
where, or at least what my schedule would be looking like for that.
mhm.
I got you, but I mean, this is just a reality of the situation. We always have a couple options. First and foremost, we always want to try to do our own programs. In order to do our own programs, we have to be planning, months and months in advance. Mr. Garvey says a year in advance. So we're definitely behind in regard for planning for our own program. Second is our next best is partnering with programs that are already out there. And that's where we are right now. Let's find out what's going on, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and whichever program or programs are closest in alignment to what we're trying to do as far as a healthy alternative to Halloween, ancestral, remembering our ancestors, honoring our ancestors. That's what I would recommend for us to support. And then third would be, you know, things that are not closely aligned with our vision would be something we support, but that'd be third. But I don't think we have time for our own. We can look into supporting others, um, and bring some ideas to the 25th, the September 25th business meeting. That'd be my recommendation.
Okay, that sounds good.
Um, looks like
September 25th business meeting.
Yes, looks like we lost Sister Ayana. Brother Art, anything you wish to share? Recording secretary?
No, I don't have anything to share at this time unless I share about the secretaries meeting. But
Yes.
but we already went over that. It was just a recap of the convention.
I thought it was something a little bit different in the secretary's meeting. Hold on. Because I
It
remember
was
seeing
that.
something.
It was that and the fundraiser for the HQ
Yeah, they were talking about that popcorn.
Yeah,
Hmm.
We were going in on that popcorn. Okay, yeah,
yeah,
popcorn fundraiser, and that's when. Oh yeah, that's when I first mentioned the officers training uh
right.
to the group. So that was
So
yeah, that
that's
was
all
my
I got.
takeaway from Secretary's meeting.
That's
Thank you,
all
Brother
I got.
Art. Any questions for Brother Art? 750. Brother Cornelius, agriculture coordinator.
Hey, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I was having a terrible problem getting the screen up last time. I don't have anything to report. Y'all can hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you good.
Hello? Okay. I don't have anything to report as far as my office, but excuse me, I just wanted to mention when you were talking about flying a flag in front of your house. I do fly a red, black, and green flag in front of my house. It's not the same one, that great big one that we used to sell. And I always carry that one when I'm in the Juneteenth parade. I don't fly that one in front of the house because I really would like to preserve it because keeping the flag out there flying, after a while, it does get kind of faded and sometimes a little torn up in the wind. And I would prefer not to have that happen to the good flag, but I do fly one in front of the house. And I remember when I first became a member of UNIA Division 21, which actually thinking about it, it's been 10 years now, 2015. Um, there was a sister that Brother Ross knew that used to sew those for us, but they're very good quality, very big, very good quality, very durable, nice colors and everything like that. And so it would be good because I remember one time when we had back when Juneteenth celebration was on Morris Brown's campus, and some brothers from the Huey P. Newton Gun Club saw me carrying that big flag that used to sell back then. And they wanted them. They came and got a couple of them. So I think if those are on display, people will definitely want them. But I was just going to mention that about the flags.
Understand, Brother Cornelius. Couple things. First, in regards to displaying the flags, and it's something I got from Brother Shaka, and this also leads to our defense in regards to criminality and things. Um, if there's a concern with having your flag based in your community and things like that, feel free to also put an American flag out next to it or near it. But just keep in mind the American flag doesn't have to be as large as the red, black, and green flag. So that's I don't want to say it's a way of recognizing both, but also still prioritizing your allegiance. And I know that's not to you directly, Brother Cornelius, because you would, but that's just to the floor in general. Second point,
Yeah, because that's what we do in the parade. We always
yes,
carry the
yeah,
American flag. Now, I don't have the American flag. I just have the red, black, and green. I don't think there's any issue here where I live.
I got you.
But I know that, unfortunately, one of the protocols too, if you fly some other flag with the American flag, you're supposed to put the American flag on top or either have it up high. If it's on the same pole, it's supposed to be on top, or if you have separate poles, the other flag is supposed to be lower than the American flag pole. And I would choose not to do that. So, but it
Under,
hasn't been an issue, so I'm glad I don't have to do that.
yeah, I understand, and this all goes into the criminality. If we don't show an obvious subservience to the United States and the United States flag, that can be, a cause for someone to bother you, give you a citation or whatever it may be. So um, understand that, and that is expected that in the United States, they want the United States flag to be higher, larger than any competing flags. We'll deal with those issues. But again, I just recommend, if there's a concern with the red, black, and green flag, feel free to add a red, white, and blue flag as well.
Now, one thing I have issue with that does trouble me is that I'm not sure what the source of the flag that I do fly is, and I would, be very, very happy if I could find a black manufacturer. Like I said, I don't know this source, and I don't know if it's black or not. But I do fly the red, regardless.
Understand, Brother Cornelius, and that goes the source as well as um, the fading. I think those two go hand in hand for me. Um, as far as a source, this is our flag, and that's why it's so important for us to develop a production system to where we, know for sure these are, African made flags, and we can promote them and sell them throughout the country, throughout the world as African made flags with a high grade of quality that we're happy with and proud of. So in regards to the flags fading, yes, I've seen that as well. But again, we have to be producing, and we need to be producing hundreds of flags every year. And basically where I'm going is each officer, we've got to get to the point where we can produce 10 flags a year ourselves. And that's just for ourselves. One to replace on the flag that you're hanging up that fades after a year, and the other nine to sell for your own personal benefit. But all of that starts with us coming together, developing a process and mastering that process for production. But yeah, I recommend a new flag every year, and that's why I was saying if we can produce these flags and get it, we have to get into a regularity. It can't be a one-time thing. The sister that we have had, she does a great job, but my issue is that she's not an active member. So we've gone to her several times. We provided her with several hundreds of dollars, and she continues to maintain herself as a non-dues paying member. And that's not something that I really understand. You know, I don't know, I'm not going to get too much into that, but we got to produce them ourselves, and we have to replace them on a regular basis. So when I was talking about producing flags for High Executive Council, we would have to bring a flag every year just because it's gonna become a point where we are the producers of the flag. And there shouldn't, it's like the concept of the real McCoy. Um, I envision us getting to a point where no one can produce a better flag, African produced red, black, and green flag than we produce. And it becomes very clear and obvious when you have your hands on a Division 421 flag versus something that you can get, at a standard price or rate. So those are my two things, Brother Cornelius. It's 7:59. We're closing out. Attorney Imhotep, anything that you wish to share? And then we'll go to our guest, Sister Vita, to close to her last final comments. Lady
Yes.
President, myself.
Briefly, today in UNIA history, uh, September 14th, 1990, the Black Star Line ship that was purchased was the Yarmouth. And on this day, it was rechristened,
Frederick Douglass.
the ship, and it was renamed SS Frederick Douglass.
Yes, sir.
In UNIA history. That's it. That's all I wanted to share.
What year was that? 1919?
1919, September 14, 1919.
So 3 years, a little up 3 years, 3.5 years after Mr. Garvey arrived in the United States, he purchasing or renaming first purchase ship. Thank you, Attorney Motep.
Thank you.
Sister Vita, is the shrine available? Separate pole, equal height. Sister Vita, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Greetings. I was trying to call on you a little bit earlier. I wanted to get your insight on the nursing or our vision for nursing locally. I know we had talked briefly. You have some experience in nursing, and you have a relationship with Sister Elon Shabazz in Detroit. Anything you
Yes, I'm actually I'm on the phone with her right now. So yes, she wants me to be a part of Kwanzaa. So she said greetings to you and peace. But yeah, definitely I'm on board when it comes to nursing. And again, it's just, out here educating the nurses about the Black Cross nurses.
Yes.
And so I mean, any which way that I can help to grow the organization here or the chapter here, just let me know how I can be of assistance. And I'm looking forward to joining.
Sounds good. We'll definitely be in touch and we'll provide you with all the information that you need for joining. Lady President, you are our head of our Black Cross nurses. I will be sharing Sister Vita's contact information with you, and I will allow you to take lead, in regards to her expertise and her desires.
That'll be great.
Okay.
Welcome, Sister Vida. Look forward to working with you.
Okay, 8:02, brothers and sisters, it's been a good meeting. Anyone closing comments? If not, again, officers training is a big focus. It will take a lot of time, a lot of energy, but I do think that I know that it is beneficial for us as UNIA officers and leaders. It's exactly what the text says. So officers training and constitution for the next 6 months, that's going to be my focus, making sure our officers are prepared, knowledgeable, trained up, ready to lead, and reviewing the Constitution, for any changes, updates, improvements, or, and for just general understanding, as Brother Eric said, a lot of what it is that we're trying to do and create or recreate is already laid out in the Constitution. So us reviewing that and studying that over the next 6 months, you know, the benefit is immeasurable. That will help us, for the duration of the UNIA, not only today, but hopefully hundreds of years in the future. So, brothers and sisters, we're gonna close out, and we'll close out with our anthem. If I can find it.
And the orientation starts next week as well, doesn't it?
Orientation starts, is it next week or the week after? Officially next week, yeah, because Sunday is like the beginning of the week. So next week, yeah, you're right.
Brother John, let me ask one quick question.
Yes,
Where
Lady
do
Cornelius.
what's the link where we find the program from Brother Duncan, The Rock. I saw it once, but I don't remember how to access it.
Link, we can find a program from who?
The program that National want us to watch every Monday.
Oh, I'm over here snacking my teeth. Um, it's community focused radio. I will put it in our executive body group chat.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. But yeah, every Monday and Tuesday, 8 to 9 p.m., all roads should lead to community focused radio. All attendance, all attention should be aimed at UNIA community focused radio. So, all right, we're going to close out with our anthem.
Ethiopia, the land of our fathers, the land where the gods love to be. As storm cloud at night suddenly gathers, our armies come rushing to thee.
We must in the fight be victorious, when swords are thrust outward to gleam. For us will the victory be glorious, when led by the red, black, and green. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free.
Advance,
Advance to meet the foe.
advance,
Advance to meet the foe.
with the might of the red,
The black
and the green, with the might of the red, the black, and the green. Ethiopia, the tyrant's falling, who smote thee upon thy knees, and thy children are lustily calling from over the distant seas. Jehovah, the Great One, has heard us, has noted our sighs and our tears. With the spirit of love, he has stirred us to be one through the coming years.
Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free.
Advance,
Advance to meet the foe.
advance,
Advance to meet the foe.
with the might of the red,
The black
and the green, with the might of the red, the black, and the green. O Jehovah, the God of ages, grant unto us sons that thee the wisdom thou gave to thy sages when Israel was sore in need.
Thy voice through the dim has spoken. Ethiopia shall stretch forth the hand.
By thee shall our fetters be broken, and heaven bless our dear fatherland. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance, advance to meet the foe. Advance, advance to meet the foe, with the might of the red, the black, and the green, with the might of the red, the black, and the green.
All right, brothers and sisters, we're shutting down. Race first. Excellent meeting. We'll meet again. What's that? 28th. September 28th. Officers training will be September 23rd. Race
Good
first.
night, family. Peace, love, and goodness to everyone.
Excellent job, everyone. Peace.
Peace. Race first.
Peace. Thank you for the invite, Brother John.
Thank you, Sister Vita.